Hey, this is Joshua.
Hey, what's going on? This is Brandon.
Hey, this is Dave.
And this is Adam, also known on Instagram as I Blame the Movies, and you are now tuned in to PVD Horror.
Nice.
About time we got that right.
Yeah, man. So thanks for coming on, Adam. We all know you're a big fan of Scream, and over the years, before when we first started off, you were going by the name Scares and Terrors.
Yes.
So we actually had footage of everything together. Like you were the first person we ever recorded with, So now you're going by the name I Blame the Movies, and it was Scares and Terrors. Can you tell us why you changed the name?
Sure. So I was going through a little bit of some stuff in life and everything, and just kind of like exploring different things. And, I was just sort of not ignoring other genres that I am in love with and everything. I just was not giving them as much light as I wanted to. And as a cinephile, I just really wanted to talk about all sorts of movies. It didn't have to necessarily be horror. I just wanted to talk about the things that I love most in life. And it's just all genres across the board. So, and ironically, that's probably the dumbest word. The name that I came up with was actually from Scream 2, from Mickey's little "I'm gonna blame the movies" because there's a lot of crappy things in the world. There's a lot of darkness and everything, and usually a great escape for me is the movies. So a lot of happiness that brings into my life is because of the movies. So that's why.
Nice. So now for all our listeners today, we're going to be talking about probably one of the best franchises ever, and this is Scream. So we're all fans of Scream, and today we had Adam join us because over the years, just being a follower on our Instagram page, I think he's probably the biggest Scream fan that we've seen that comes on our timeline, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Stop that.
Stop that. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off the conversation because with the guy that started this all, we're going to talk about Wes Craven, and we're going to talk about some of his films, some of his greatest films and accomplishments and everything like that. So with you being the guest, Adam, go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say about Wes.
Where's he going? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
This guy.
The cat was stuck in the library. I had to get her out.
Same story.
She starts doing the tail wag and she starts spraying all my books and stuff. I can't be
good. Josh, what are you doing, man?
Ruining
He's kind of give us a headache when we have to edit.
Well, guess what? This is a regular episode, so we don't have to edit shit. Like Josh, you're gonna fucking get it, just like any other episode.
He enjoys it though, so
yeah, fucking clown.
Ruthless, man.
So, anyways,
Yes.
Adam. So we were just talking about Wes Craven and kind of our thoughts about this film franchise and stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously he's one of the greatest masters of horror. He definitely helped bring the light and the vision of terror back on screens with Scream. He's, definitely from his earlier works. There's definitely works of his. Actually, only one movie that I cannot really watch that much. I'm not a huge fan of is Last House on the Left, and I wasn't a huge fan because that's.
We've talked about that before. Yeah, we've talked about that before, and that kind of whole subgenre of those women getting attacked movies. So that's I remember I think we were talking more like I Spit on Your Grave at the time, but Last House on the Left is right up there as far as uncomfortable movies like that.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, even in the the topic and the the whole storyline behind that is obviously disturbing, but it just I get that it's his first film and he's just kind of starting out and everything. But the actors that they got and where they got the actors kind of from is kind of it's obvious.
Yeah.
So it kind of just makes it Ugh, all right, what's the next one? Come on, Levin, come on. So, but yeah, he's definitely put his name in horror very strongly, and this is definitely. I will definitely say this is his greatest work, is 1 through 4 in the Scream franchise.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you personally connect with the Scream franchise over, like, let's say, his Nightmare on Elm Street franchise?
So Scream, like Scream was definitely not one of like the first franchise I ever watched. I mean, actually, Nightmare I remember watching with my sister like back in the day and everything. Because our parents were pretty cool, man. They were like, this all this stuff's fake. You don't have to be scared. So they got that in our heads a lot. So we grew up watching a lot of that stuff, and Freddy's a fun character. He's brutal, and his one-liners are obviously like iconic. I just personally, there's definitely films within in that franchise that maybe like I could watch if like I'm having a fun drinking game, or like there's just not as many that I enjoy as much. And I'm just so biased with Scream, man. Like I think it's just to me, it's the greatest franchise. I think it dives into a lot of the meta that we've grown to love, and and it was just like watching people like us loving movies in a movie, and especially like horror and stuff. It was just it's such a fun watch, and yeah, I love it, man. I love that there's like, I mean, obviously there's not so many a Ghostface in the real world that we know of. I hope not, going around and stuff. But it's just cool to watch things like that and just feel like that could be us, man. Like that could be us, just like sitting by the water fountain talking about liver in the mailbox or something.
But that's the thing with Wes, though. Ghostface is based off a real character.
Well, yes.
And so yeah, but and then also like People Under the Stairs, like it's all events that really happen and stuff. And so I think that's what Wes would always like to focus on. So it sucks. Hopefully we won't have anyone like Ghostface again going around in these times, but it's good to watch on screen.
Oh, well,
Let's not forget, guys, okay? Wes Craven, didn't he do a Goo Goo Dolls video?
Goo Goo Dolls?
Goo Goo Dolls?
Didn't he do a Goo Goo Dolls video?
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't
Wait,
check
did he do the Goo Goo Dolls video for Freddy's Dead? Because they did a song on the soundtrack of Freddy's Dead.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not I don't fucking like the Goo Goo Dolls. I wouldn't really know, but I had heard that he made a video with them. So
rumors, Josh.
Yeah.
Thought it again.
But I'm pretty sure that happened.
Josh, what's your favorite Wes Craven film?
Oh, Swamp Thing.
Nah.
No. No. That's Swamp Thing not adapted well at
Wouldn't
all.
have been surprised. That didn't shock me whatsoever. I was like, oh, Josh picks
like...
obscure Wes Craven film. Not shocking whatsoever.
Yeah, but Swamp Thing, the comic book was really in depth and went fucking crazy, and then the movie.
Wes Craven wrote Swamp Thing, the comic book.
No.
So why are you talking about it?
Because I wanted it to be adapted from the comic, like
gotcha.
Word for word. Hey, you know what? Nightmare was good. What else did he do? The Hills Have Eyes was good.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
What was that Mars movie with Ice Cube and Bam Grier?
Ghost of Mars.
Oh, Ghost of Mars, yeah.
That sounds like a movie Josh would have liked.
I did like that. It was basically heavy metal. I thought it was like a rock video. The first time I saw it, I was wicked fucked up, and it was just like I'm tripping balls, and here's Ice Cube running through the fucking red planet, blowing people away.
Adam,
heavy metal playing in the background.
It's fucking
and
fun,
like,
man. Yeah.
Like I loved it.
Adam instantly regrets coming on here.
He's like, "What?
Is it up time? All right, let's go. I got some appointments.
And Dave,
yes.
Your favorite film?
Well, obviously the Nightmare franchise. Huge Freddy Krueger fan. Yeah, so I mean, part 3 was always my favorite, but like kind of like what we always talk about with with the Friday the 13th franchise, as I've gotten older, though, I got more appreciation for other ones in the franchise. So like part 2 started to grow on me a lot. I now have like this affiliate, like I look at like part 4 differently. I really appreciate part 4. It was silly, funny. And then 5 was actually, that was like my second favorite growing up too, because that was like one of the first ones I saw, aside from the original. And yeah. So I mean, I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. That'll always be my heart.
Nice. All right, so we know that Ghostface is known for his iconic mask and everything like that. So, but let's talk about the person, like the voice behind Ghostface, Roger Jackson. You know, we've able to meet him a few times at Monster Mania and just hear that voice up close. You know, I just think that it's a cool moment. Dave, you met him before, right?
No, I never. I've seen him. He's been at the conventions, but I haven't actually gone up to meet him.
Yeah, like just sitting there when he was sitting there doing like voices for people with cell phones and shit, and just like, "Hello, Sydney, I'm gonna fucking kill you."
I think me and you were at one, and we were watching him do that to people's emails. Yeah.
Nice.
Now you never met him, right, Josh?
No.
All right. And said, Adam, you said he's coming down to the convention soon.
He's coming. Well, I know he's going to Monster Mania, and I thought I read he was coming to Steel City Con here in Pittsburgh. With because like Robert England's coming with Heather and and Hayden Panettiere. Or, I don't know how you say it.
Yeah,
but that's kind of like, all right. And John Bernthal, if he doesn't cancel, John Bernthal usually cancels his events, but no, I'm bringing my Scream 4 stuff for Hayden to
cool
sign. So
that's cool.
Now,
go ahead, Brandon.
I know the Scream cast has been going crazy over the all the cons coming to town and stuff like that. Were you able to meet anyone, like your favorite actors from the films?
My absolute favorite meeting was Matthew. Like that, he is. I think that's one of the kindest humans I've ever gotten to interact with. Like he, like the person before us was like somebody in a wheelchair, and like he like signed all their stuff and everything, and then he just like wheeled them out nicely into the, like he was just he's like one of the funniest people, and like he's very fun to interact with and everything. I mean, obviously meeting Nev was like one of the that was a dream come true, because she is as beautiful as ever. So
we got to meet Nev, and that was cool. They had like a limit on how many people could go up and take a photo with her, unfortunately, which sucked. But you know, she was quiet, but like super nice to us, and I know that was a really cool experience. I was gonna ask, when we were talking about Roger Jackson, as far as like famous voices go in horror, who do you guys think is like one of the most iconic voices? Like obviously, "Hello, Sydney" is like a line that you hear that and you know immediately it's Scream. There's only like a handful of other people I can really say, like if I hear their voice, I think of the specific movie or franchise that they are aligned to. And I think like Chucky is another one, right? Like you hear Chucky's voice, no. Hating on Chucky over there.
Come on.
Always.
Yeah, definitely Chucky, and even Freddy. You know, Freddy. He always had those comedy lines that'll come through, hit the right way.
You know, I was kind of thinking about the parallels between Ghostface and Freddy a little bit. And like, so there's I think one thing, and I wonder if this is kind of a Wes Craven thing or if this is just coincidental, but there's like the human element to both of them. So like obviously Freddy's in dreams, but he's also like a person. And like you see him like chase people, and I think of like, I can almost picture him like chasing someone up the stairs the same way you see Ghostface chase someone up the stairs in every single movie too. So there are parallels to his characters, and then like the iconic voice, and you know, a little bit of like taglines. Obviously Ghostface isn't like all taglines, but you know, he's got his specific lines that he says that people will respect and stuff. So I think there is like these parallels to those movies, you know, it's like just for a different generation almost.
Yeah.
Scream broke the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a full thought?
Yeah. What's going on over there?
Fourth wall.
Are you reading something?
What is it? I was in the zone there.
Yeah, it broke the fourth wall.
I'm thinking of like 4D. What is that one? It's like when things get sprayed at you when you're at like a movie theater. What are you talking about? Fourth wall?
You know what? It was like the characters were aware that they were.
Oh, the meta part. Yeah.
They call it meta. That's a thing.
Meta.
Mm-hmm. But not Mumblecore. Not Mumblecore, Dave. It was meta.
Not Mumblecore.
Right? Not Mumblecore.
No, Mumblecore is a different thing.
Adam, are you aware of Mumblecore?
It sounds like, is it like the pig squealing stuff in Rock that you can't understand? No. Okay, I'm guessing not. So no, I don't.
It's a subgenre of film. I'll send you some films.
Oh, what? Oh shit! I feel like an idiot now.
I'll send you some films you can check out, and we'll see what you think.
I didn't know what that was either, and I didn't know meta was a thing either. I thought it was the fourth wall.
Either.
What's up with you and the like weird pronunciation?
Yeah, Arnold, get down. Either.
Google doll.
You know what?
Turbo Man. Fucking guy. All right. See, Josh. See, this is what happens, Adam. Every episode, normal episode, interviews, we kind of leave him alone a little bit. But when it comes to like regular episodes, he gets it. He gets it. But
there was one person we interviewed. I said library, and you guys were like, "Oh, it's not a berry." I forget who it was.
Diane Franklin.
I was all embarrassed in front of us.
It was Diane Franklin too, and you were like trying to sound cool in front of her.
I was. She's hot. Ruined it. Fucking guys.
Right.
See what? Don't, Adam. You shouldn't even be friends with these two guys because they're just gonna fuck you up. You'll be on the podcast and say something cool, and they'll be like, "Oh,
that's not true, Josh. We respect him."
We respect him.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Right here, Dave. Right here.
I'm just messing with you.
All right, let's get back to the movie. All right. So the way that they kick off each film is the main focus point in this franchise. I want to hear how you guys would rank all the opening scenes from all the films. Let's see. So let's start off with Adam.
Oh, that's hard, man.
And I want to know why.
Oh, damn, man.
500 words. 500 words or more.
Let's go, Adam.
So I'm actually. You want me to start like least or?
Yeah, I do least.
Yeah.
My least favorite. I'd actually probably say the Cotton Weir one. I still love it.
Mm-hmm.
But like it doesn't. I don't think they rank up as much as the other openings and everything. It was still like kind of. It was cool to see him come back and everything, and he had the 100% cotton thing. Like it was awesome, and the whole like Hollywood setting. But yeah, I would probably rank that a little bit lower. I'd say Scream 4 would come at number 3 because I love the multiple stab stuff. Like it was just funny as shit, and it was just I love that. And actually, the first Scream I would actually rank at number 2.
Oh,
what? It's easy, buddy.
Hey. Easy, buddy.
Look, man. I rank them all at number 1. Like this whole, you guys know I'm obsessed with this shit, but there's something about number 2 that I love to death. Just the whole. I mean, the very lucky guess of where his ear was in the freaking stall. Like, I'm pretty sure I thought that would have killed him, and I mean, eventually did. But I just loved I loved the beginning talk with him and Jada and everything. Even though I'm not huge on her as a person nowadays, so it kind of is it's kind of fun seeing her kind of get gutted in the theater. So. No, it was just cool because like it was such a fun environment. Look, because I mean, obviously we'll never be able to do that in a movie theater nowadays. Like you're never gonna have a gathering of fucking masked ghost face just enjoying it and acting like idiots and shit. Because that was like almost a dream to have, but obviously we can't have that. So love reliving that moment and everything. And I thought, the whole sequence was shot well, and just the whole her running and him stabbing her. I think that's one of the greatest, even in horror history. I think that's one of the greatest opening scenes in horror.
When
I think before you start, Adam, the next Scream, we should all go with Ghostface mask. You have to wear a mask into the theater anyway, so we should just do it.
Pretty sure they'll kick you out. I mean, I'm going. I'm going in a robe, and I'm gonna wear the Scream mask for pictures outside with the group I'm going with and shit. But obviously, I have to take it off. But I'll be in my robe, man.
That's awesome.
I posted a picture because I recently was in California, and I went by the Rialto Theater, and then somebody had. That's awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. But somebody had posted that I guess was it the 20th anniversary of Scream? They did it at the other theater that they did the inside filming, and they had shown the movie there. So they were actually watched that scene in the theater, and I was like, that must have been so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they dressed up, because I mean that was obviously pre-COVID when that happened. Yeah. So that would have been wild if everybody was dressed up as Ghostface, watching everybody dressed up as Ghostface. I was just unafraid to get stabbed. But
all right, so Dave, you want to take a shot at this next? I want to know how you rank the opening scene.
My listing isn't going to be too much different than Adam's. I will say, before I heard your rationale, I think your rationale, I'm going to go with what I was thinking before. So I was thinking actually part 4 would have probably been my least. Part 3, almost actually probably in order. I liked the Cotton one more than part 4. I felt like I had seen that part 4 one done in a different franchise. Did they do that with The Ring or something, where they had a movie inside of a movie or something? Or am I totally imagining that?
Yeah, it was something else. I definitely touched on it first because
they
weren't the first to do it.
And I recently rewatched part 4, and it reminded me of the scene. And when I saw it, I was like, I feel like this was in something else. And I want to say it was The Ring, but I could be one of the Ring sequels, but I could be wrong. I do love that first one. The very I remember watching it when I was in high school, and I was super high out of my mind, and it scared the living crap out of me. And it was just so awesome. And that was just one of those scenes that forever will stay with me. You're right though. Part 2 scene is also awesome and iconic. But for me, that part 1 was just a special place in my heart.
Josh, what do you think?
You know what? Chronological order for me, number 1, it's so iconic. Even when I watched it, the first time I saw it, it was so different. It was kind of what is it? The caller. I can't remember the name.
When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah, but the original one where she was in the house, she had that old school phone. Yeah. So that's what it reminded me of, and I was like, oh. But then he killed her, and the parents coming home, man. It was I was like, geez, completely different than anything else you had seen. So naturally, in the second one, you have to try to outdo that. And I thought the movie theater was really cool. I've been in situations where people are gathered and something's happening, and they're so in the moment they don't even notice, So that really happens, and I've seen it happen, unfortunately. So that it's almost too real for me. But I was like, oh, it's really cool to see it in a movie. Part 3 didn't really do it for me. I did not like part 3, so that would be the third. And then part 4, I couldn't even watch because part 3 was so terrible. I gave up.
Before you answer, I just wanted to also point out something that Josh just made me think of. I think one of the other reasons why part 1 was so effective is Drew Barrymore was obviously very popular at the time, and it was they just killed Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In the first scene,
it was quick. It was quick.
Yep.
So
and it was the same.
Was another thing. Yeah.
And it was the same thing with Jada. You know what I mean? Because you would think that she would be in the movie longer. They're like, let's see, they're not going to do the same thing to her. They're going to keep her in a little bit longer. And then it was just like, nah, yeah, she's dead.
You know, and Omar Epps, I'm assuming too. I mean, I don't remember exactly what else they were both in at that exact time, but those are very big, like noticeable people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like at the same time, it was like, oh, are they going to do something different where they don't kill the black people first? No, they killed them first. But we're going to kill them in the movie theater this time. So, yeah, for me, I think the worst one was Scream 3. To me, that whole scene, it seemed like a deleted scene. Like it didn't have to be in that film. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why they started it off that way. And to me, Cotton Wary, I think he should have been dead in the second film. Like, so to me, it was just like, why is he in this third movie right now? And so it just kind of like added on to a point where I didn't care. And then the voice changer, I didn't like it how they played with the voice, and he was able to use Cotton's voice and kind of trick.
It didn't make any sense.
I didn't like that. So we'll touch on that later. But then I had to go to Scream 4 because there's too many actresses, and I didn't like. At first, when I watched it, I was like, that was corny. But then, like, as I rewatched that film again and put it together, and I actually finished Scream 4, I was like, all right, that was a good film. So I give that opening scene, I give it, I'm like, all right, whatever. They fucked up on that, but the movie was good. And then I go to Scream 2, same points that you guys touched on, and then Scream 1, it's a classic. You know what I mean? It's probably one of the best horror film opening scenes ever. You know, so you can't take anything away from that. So you guys had some good choices on that.
Thank you, Brandon.
No problem. No problem, David. All right, so let's talk about the history of the killers of the franchise and how they connected to Sydney in each film. So you want to start off with Scream 1, Adam?
Yeah. So, we got Scream 1, we got Billy Loomis, the boyfriend of Sidney Prescott, of course, and his sidekick, Stu Macher. Yeah, that was them.
That was them.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure what you meant by history.
So I'm talking about all the franchises. So we're going to talk about each film. So the history of everything going back, like how it kind of adds into how each character has a relationship with Sydney, like the history that they have with her. No,
maybe we could provide an example.
Yeah, man, I apologize, man.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think my bad, dude. I think it's just brain farted right there.
No, you're good. So as we know, watching the franchise, that each killer has history with Sydney. It has a backstory. They're all connected to her in somehow, some shape, some form. So I want to know, like, with Stu and Billy, what would you think about those two killers and how everything added up with like Sydney's mother and everything like that? Is that better?
Oh, okay, man. Okay. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like the when it came down to like the motives and everything, I mean, obviously, like the whole line where I mean, Stu thought it was basically one thing, and then Billy pulls this, your slut mother was fucking my like, and you just see the camera pan to Stu and everything, and it's just this shocked look and everything. It's so amazing how they do that end scene with Billy, Stu, and Sydney and everything. So yeah, their motives, especially Billy. I mean, he was ruthless in his thing, and I mean, like, Stu was just basically peer pressure. So but yeah, they the whole thing with the mother and everything, and I mean, obviously going towards like Scream 3, when you find out even more of history and everything, and that's what I kind of love about it, that it ties in, I think, pretty well, because I mean, you think one thing, and then when you get into Scream 3, you find out a lot more about even the history of Billy's dad, and it just dives into a lot more of a sinister way. So then you think back to Billy and everything, you're like, holy shit, man, like he went through a lot of shit. I mean, not trying to say he should be doing what he did, but I mean, like a lot of that shit fucked Billy up. And, you know, there's always some bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend. So.
So let me ask you guys a question. When you guys are watching the film, did any of you guys have an idea the first time you watched it of who the killer was before the reveal?
No.
No.
No, because when I seen it, I was young, so it was what, 97. Cause I didn't see it in the theater. You seen it in the theater. I seen it like the first day it came out at Blockbuster. So I was young at that time. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you wouldn't get those points of where they were going in the direction until like the film was over. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I mean, I definitely did not see that coming. I remember being totally surprised. And again, that was one of the great feelings of that movie was able to provide, was like that suspense and like I really want to know who this is. Yeah, there was just so many elements the first time you watch it. Like this is one of those movies, there's like only a few that I can really think of that I really, really wish I could go back and relive that first viewing. It's like the first time you watch like one of the M. Night Shyamalan movies or something like that, and like, you know, like
heard of it, Josh?
Sixth Sense before like you find out everybody's dead. It's like, wow.
But you kind of figured the end of that one. Scream was different.
You did not.
And then there was two killers, so that was different. I got not a big Hollywood guy. I don't like a lot of Hollywood movies, but this one sticks out. And
how'd you get the nickname Joshua Hollywood Dolan then?
The sunglasses. Hello.
Yeah, he had a comeback for you too.
Oh, nice.
Hello.
He was ready.
Hello. Have you been looking at me in the sun? I got those shades, dude. I got the blank.
All right.
So what about the second one? Did you know who the killer was in the second one?
No, I had no idea like where that was coming from.
That came out of freaking nowhere.
Because it's like you had the school setting.
Having the second killer come out after the first killer was even weirder, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So
and it was definitely left field because it's like, all right, they're all in school, so it was like, all right, so it's gonna be someone that they go to school with, and then it was just like his mom, and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing here?
Where'd you come from?
What? Actually, I watched this not that long ago, but I've already forgot what was the motive in that one of the two killers. Remind me again.
I mean, well, I know Mickey's was like, the way he explained it was like he really wanted like a theatrical kind of fame, and you know he wanted to do it all for the trial and everything. And then I mean the only like thing that he kind of like says out loud from my memory is like, you know, college is expensive or some shit, and then you know they met on some weird website, which I never understood like where you go to meet like psychos and shit. Like he's like, yeah, they never really explain necessarily how they meet. It's just some weird website or somehow. And Billy's mom, I mean, because she killed Billy. So
yeah.
So that's why to me it was just like, why is she here? And so
I mean, we knew her from Roseanne, and here she is in Scream 2.
I know.
Tell you what, she looked crazy though, right?
Did.
Hey, dude, she did well in Scream 2, I thought.
Yeah, she did.
Because then you like rewatch it, like there's like after you watch even like the first one and everything, like even when they're at that fountain scene and everything, and they're just like you know, nobody said you killed her, and he's like, thanks, buddy, and you just see Billy give this most evil fucking look, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, he's probably a fucking killer. Like there's little things afterwards. And then even in like the second one where I don't know if it's like the certain dialogue where she's like talking with Gail and she's like, oh, I got to meet a deadline. And like, there's little like things and words that she says. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. Like they kind of put little things in there to,
Yeah.
And then it's like and then going back and watching the film again, and you're like, all right, now who was the killer at this scene? Who killed this person? Like, you know, so like even with the first one, because I had heard something about like when Billy came through Nev's window, and then he turned the music up. That's when Stu was kidnapping the father. You know, so it was kind of like when you listen to certain things and people taking notes on certain shit, it's kind of cool to see like the back side of things.
I was just thinking about Sydney's dad all tied up.
In a good way or bad way? What do you? What?
Yeah. Where's that conversation going, buddy? Where's that going?
He just like I don't know. He's just such a useless character in that first film. He was totally useless, and then he's just tied up. The one time he shows up, I don't know. I felt bad for that dude. I was like, that's the worst.
And he just busts through the wall like Hulk Hogan. Just
yeah, like with his hands.
Like you couldn't just like go through the door. Like, come on, man. Like you gotta fucking fix that shit. Like it's your. Oh wait, no, it's not his house. I'm sorry, but yeah, you caused that wreckage, man. Like
I always like got a kick out of that though, because it was like such a like I don't know. He served a purpose, but they could have done the whole thing without him even actually ever showing up. I don't know.
That was the main thing though. They were trying to force it to make it seem like it was him the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Purposeless characters.
Yeah.
Wow, Dave.
All right.
But they put him in there so he could make his big comeback in Scream 3. By comeback, he just had an appearance in Scream 3.
Oh yeah, that's his big moment.
Did he get murdered?
No.
Nobody killed that dude?
No, he's still alive.
Hopefully in part 5.
There's another one.
Like,
there's another one.
Like he showed up in 3, and then he was like, "Oh, you still in hiding? Oh, okay, cool." And then like you never see him again.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, he doesn't come back after that.
He's not in 4 or anything. Like they're just like
he has one of the most impactful lines though. I freaking love that line. He goes, "You don't even you have a job where people don't even know your name. It's like you don't even exist." And then I was like, "Whoa, that's freaking deep right there."
Whoa,
heavy line.
That's deep.
Heavy line.
So we know who the killer is in the next one. It's her dad.
It's her dad.
Right?
Might be.
You're always putting me through this shit. That's what
they blame me in the first one now.
I got tied up.
I got tied up.
Nobody fucking untied me, man. Come on. He did it, man. Like as soon as he came through that wall, they just took the tape off. And he's just like, "Oh, thank you for letting me breathe." Like, okay, you sat here. We'll deal with some other stuff.
Is anyone going to say sorry?
Said my wife did what? My wife was fucking who? Everybody.
What'd that kid say? Holy shit.
I think we just predicted the next movie. This is amazing.
I think this is Scream 5.
Yeah. That's note taking that I ever heard was in the first one where she's like, somebody said, "Well, what if they make a movie of your life?" And she was like, knowing my luck, Tori Spelling would play me. And then in the second one, Tori Spelling played her. That was hysterical. Mm-hmm. I wish that she got killed. I was hoping. Rebecca Gayheart was in the second one too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember in the 90s, man. The Beast
Urban Legends.
She was
that's right.
Way before that, man. The Noxzema girl was the shit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you remember.
You ready to talk about Scream 3? Josh's favorite killer?
No.
Roman?
No. I don't want to talk about Scream 3. Hey, Scream
That's
2.
your favorite movie.
Selma Blair was in Scream 2, right?
She was on Scream 3.
With Sarah Michelle Gellar. How about that? Yeah. No one knows
but that. Scream 3 had
favorite.
Was Kristen Bell? Was that who was in the first scene?
No, that was 4.
That was 4. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we were talking about the map.
I can't even remember.
Cotton.
Deleted scene where
100% Cotton. That's clever though. 100% Cotton. So yeah. So Adam, you'll do a better job explaining it because you're the expert. Roman motive.
So Roman, he was basically the abandoned child of Rena Reynolds, the up and coming star in Hollywood back in that day, and basically ditched her life as a movie star and ditched her kid, all that goodness. And he's just a pissed off brother that just wanted some love, man. And Sydney got all the fucking glory.
Yep. So she didn't know he existed whatsoever.
Nope.
See, so now the tagline for
I
the
mean,
film,
or at least it's not explained. Like, I don't know. I don't think they ever explained like, oh yeah, I knew you existed. I just fucking hated you.
She makes it seem like she didn't.
she didn't know him, and so that's why the tagline for the new film is kind of like weird because it's always someone you know, unless it's your fucking brother that your mother was hiding. You know,
Right.
I don't know, but
So there was a lot of like things they tried to get you to think in that one when they were like trying to throw you off. Like at one point, it almost seemed like it was the old dude who was making like old horror movies, and she was an actress, and her mom was an actress. And like, what are they trying to tell me? This old guy is going around killing people.
Was that
they were
Lance
trying to,
Henriksen?
yeah. Was that no the old? Wasn't it like the old guy? That was maybe I'm wrong. But it was just they were just trying to drive you off course the whole time. And then when you actually found out, it was like, well, there was no way I was ever going to tie that together anyway. So like, why were you trying to like throw me for a loop when there was no way I could ever figure out that that's her brother? Because she doesn't even freaking know it. So I didn't understand that. I mean, I like the fact that obviously it's like a whodunit, but it was just kind of like needless.
I was shocked also because there was one killer in that film. And they used all the films they were rolling with two.
It's true.
So now it's kind of like, what? Like, where's the other guy at? And it's like somebody gonna pop out next, and it was no one. And I'm like,
and out of all the films, that one would have made more sense to have two because of all the different things the killer was pulling off. Like one point they're in like a body bag, unless she was totally that. You know, the next
she I don't know if she imagined like the dead mother thing. I can't remember if that was like an imagination
it
thing
was hard to tell, right? Because like sometimes it was definitely a nightmare. Like she was having nightmares for sure. It was like trauma nightmares. And then they did the thing when she was in the house, and then you see the body bag. That looked like that one was real. Right. But he was also Ghostface like a second ago. So that's what I'm saying. Like I totally was expecting there to be two killers. And it obviously didn't go that way.
You don't think they just gave up on part 3?
Yeah, like, 3 was a hot mess.
Yeah.
If you look at the story of part 2, everything fits together really well. Part 1, everything fits together really well. And part 2, man, I mean, look at it's Rebecca Gayheart, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jada Pinkett Smith, man. Who else was in it? Tori Spelling was in there. And then you go to part 3, and what do you get? Who the hell was in part 3? Jenny McCarthy. You go from all that to Jenny McCarthy. Like, they got part 3, and they were like, we don't really
listen. They also got Jay and Silent Bob in there for a night.
Oh yeah, they did.
Don't forget that shit, man.
Don't forget that.
Love that shit.
They did another really weird thing where they had this girl show up on the set. Like when they started to investigate what was going on, they had a random like friend show up on set. Remember? And then like Gail gets like jealous, like, oh, don't tell me he's dating her now or something like that. And it was like this nerdy girl. She was in a movie, trying to remember what the hell the name of the movie was. But like they just kept introducing random people that like you wouldn't know. Yeah, for no reason. It was weird. It was like things were thrown together. I think the thing that makes the Scream movie so good and what this one was lacking is all the intricate detail that all connects. And then this one had a bunch of information that was just, it was connected, but not connected. Like they were able to tell us verbally how it connects, but like there was no way for us to actually like see that connection happen. Like Josh, you were talking about her mentioning Tori Spelling, and then Tori Spelling's in part 2. Like that's a connection we are able to kind of make along with them. But this was just like things thrown at us.
And there was just too much going on. It was just like even Dewey and Gail's characters, they were just like weird. Did you see like Dewey was just always like his face expressions and everything? Yeah. It was just kind of like weird. It looked like he was actually Officer Doofy from Scary Movie.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I'm like, I can't take this dude serious right now. But then it's like, all right, now Scream 4, it was like he was more of himself, but you know, I think they lost who they were because there was so much going on in that film because they had other people portraying them in the film that was in the film. And they had, so it was just like, all right, there's too much going on here. And then you had the other two detectives. And it's just like, all right, what the fuck is going on here?
They had Parker Posey. That was a big name in part 3. We didn't mention Parker Posey. Josh, you know who that is? No.
It doesn't matter. Josh doesn't know who that is.
You go from Rebecca Gayheart to who?
Parker Posey's pretty hot.
You go to Drew Barrymore to who?
Yeah, exactly.
Jada Pinkett Smith to who?
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't like that there was 2 Gale Weathers in there. That drove me nuts.
Yeah, it's Parker Posey.
That's Parker Posey.
Yeah. But also, Carrie Fisher was a little cameo too.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, she's like the 2 Gales go into like that like filing thing, and like there's this lady at the desk, and they're trying to figure out shit, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you?" And she's like, "No." Like she denies being Carrie Fisher and shit. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even make that recognition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
There's
Why we
still
brought
things
you
I
on the
love
show?
about Scream thing, man. I don't know. There's I mean, I get what you guys are saying. There's just a lot of shit I do still love. I know originally Scream 3 was supposed to be something like way different. It was, you know, it was a scrap plan of something. It actually had to do with Stu Macher like coming back and leading like a cult of high schoolers.
Oh.
But the whole but it was like at the time of like Columbine, so they axed it.
They got it. Yeah, Wayne was telling me about that before. So
that's why there's a lot of speculation with 5, man.
You know what? Part 3, Dewey getting killed was awesome.
Dewey?
Yeah.
Dewey's alive.
Yeah, but he got killed, and then he was wheeled out, and Gale Weathers number 2 was like, "Oh my god, you're alive," and ruined it for me. I was like, he was like the best death in the whole thing. You know, I was hoping he would stay dead.
Jeez.
He got killed. I wish he stayed dead. Oh my god!
Yeah,
did they put him in Pet Cemetery or something? Did he come
back?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the crap beat out of him every movie.
Every movie, man.
He's gonna be the second killer with the dad in the new one
because they're both fed up with this shit.
Yeah, right? We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it once and for all.
They've had enough.
We're gonna kill Sydney, and that's it.
End it tonight. So, all right, so the next one is obviously part 4. Adam, can you run us through the killers and that?
So we got Jill and
Charlie.
Charlie, yes, thank you very much, Mr. McCulkin. Yeah, so I know a lot of a lot of people fucking hate this movie, man, and they hate her as a killer, and a lot of they had to go with the times and everything with like social media and being famous and kind of getting clout and all that shit, and she wanted to be the final girl and all this stuff, along with her partner Charlie and everything. So the motives for Jill I thought were actually quite with the times, so I thought it was actually brilliant. Charlie was just a man in love, man, and he just was sick of fucking hating, and he just just like, fuck you, man, I tried everything for you, and it just didn't work.
You didn't notice me.
I'm the Randy of this generation. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, because even I know they even have that line, like he's like, oh yeah, we're like the new Sydney and Randy.
Yeah. I knew he was one of the killers as soon as they show him on the chair. I was like, why would they make him a special accommodation and like prolong his death? But they killed off everybody else. So I had a feeling when that happened.
Nice. Yeah.
So I actually there's a part of me when I was watching this, I was like, these movies are like, they were all ahead of their time. So like Scream 4 would have killed if it came out in the last like 5 years. what year did Scream 4 come out? 2011?
11.
11.
Yeah.
If it came out even like a few years later, it would have killed, because it's like we see it all the time right now. Like people will do anything for social media clout, and like
Exactly.
you know, and I almost feel like all of those movies are a little bit just ahead of their time, but it's still like they're good films, so people love them. But like that one especially, I was like, wow, that one was like spot on. Like that could have came out today and that would have like blown everyone away, I think. I was like surprised to hear you say people hated her as a killer. But like I said, I think it's, you know, if it came out now, people would totally hate her. They would like her as a killer, but hate her as a person. Yeah, I thought she was good. I liked them as killers.
Yep.
Now, what did you think about part 4? Did you like it or no?
Me?
Adam.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I still actually really loved it. I thought it was a nice I thought it was a nice like return and everything. There's an unfortunate deleted scene out there. I don't know if you ever saw, even in like there's like a still of there was a scene where like Dewey goes to this house and there's a girl like hanging by like a fan, and on the wall in blood it said, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And they deleted it. And that was like, I believe that was supposed to be the opening or a very beginning of the movie, or towards it and everything. And I was actually really pissed that they cut that, because not that I didn't mind the opening for that, but like it was because even in that scene, there's a small cameo of Wes Craven as like a coroner, of like it's a quick frame, but like he's also in that too for like a quick second and everything. And so yeah, it bugged me with that. I know a lot of people complained about like the look of Scream 4, because it's they use some, I forget, like some sort of like different filters to make it look a little bit different, which was kind of the point. They wanted to make it look like not like the other ones. So you know, there's I know the original ending with the hospital scene, I believe, was a reshoot. That wasn't actually like part of it. It was actually supposed to end with you know, Sydney getting stabbed or like laying on the floor, and then there was somebody supposed to say a line like, "Oh, she's still alive," but it was supposed to be a mystery between her and Hayden, and then it was supposed to cut, and that was it. Like that was the end of the movie. So yeah, so there's things that I wish kind of would have happened. I believe Williamson kind of walked off, or like I know he kind of didn't have anything to do with the reshoots, but I don't know. I still love it, man. There's nothing that can't like really tear me away from it and everything. I love even like the whole bar scene, like getting friends together and watching these stab marathons and everything. I thought that was just awesome and everything. So
agreed.
All right. So now, Dave, you wanted to touch on Sydney as being the best final girl ever.
So I was talking to you a little bit before this, Brandon, but so I recently rewatched Scream 3, and I started to watch it through the perspective of trying to look at her as a final girl. Adam, I'll just share this with you. I've already talked to them a little bit about this, but like, so my other work, I do therapy with individuals, and I've been trying to like get this model so I can integrate horror movies into the work that I do. And I've been kind of using final girls as like a way to like a model for kind of coping with trauma. And Scream 3 was like perfect. So not a perfect movie by any means. It was my least favorite of the 4, but in the scope of like final girl development, Sydney goes through the whole development in that one film, and it was really cool to see if you like watch it through that lens. So in the beginning, actually, and there's a term called complex trauma, which is like a trauma. It's not like just a one-time occurrence, but it's like when a person goes through trauma after trauma, like repeated trauma. And obviously she has. So she had the first trauma was obviously Scream 1, repeated in Scream 2, and then by Scream 3, it's a complex trauma. So she's living in a state of fear, and she's hiding out. So there's this anonymity to her. She even like in her work, and that's why her dad's line was actually super powerful if you look at it through the lens of like her as a trauma victim. It's like you don't even exist because she doesn't want to exist because she's living in fear that she's going to be found again. So that whole first part of the movie, she's hiding away, and then she eventually, and this is sort of the work that I've done with some people with trauma, is like exposure therapy. So she's kind of forced into exposure when she falls onto the movie set. And she literally, you see it happen while she's on the movie set. She walks into the house and she's suddenly back there, right? She's back in her trauma. There's no way she can turn around now. She's being chased. Even her mom pops up, which is another trauma she went through when she lost her mom, obviously, which we saw in her nightmares. So all of her trauma is relived. She falls out the window and suddenly she's a new person. So she's faced all of her fears and now she's ready to start fighting back. And after that point, there's no turning back for her. She does not shy away. She does not hide. In the end, after, you know, obviously they find well, actually, I wanted to say when they kill Roman,
Yeah.
When they kill him, there's this moment where, and I think this sometimes happens, where you start to have like not forgiveness, but like an acceptance of the person who victimized you. And she holds his hand because she had some empathy for him. She doesn't forgive him. She doesn't, like, obviously it doesn't take away all the trauma she went through, but she holds his hand and kind of like just has like empathy for the victimizer. It's like a way of like, I'm going to move forward. And that's like her way of healing and moving forward. And then the end scene is obviously she goes into her house. She doesn't set her alarm. She decides she's not going to hide anymore. The door blows open at the end and she doesn't close it. So she's no longer living in fear and not hiding out. So I just wanted to touch on that as like a final girl. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where we saw like this whole arc of a character and all in one movie, which like was awesome. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And also like, you know, just looking at because everybody talks about Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis and I love Halloween. But if I'm looking at like full range of development in the Halloween movies, Jamie Lee was still hiding when we saw her in the new Halloween, 2018 Halloween. She was hiding, right? So she never really had that full arc in any of her movies. So this was like really cool. So I don't know. That was just a thought I had. I wanted to share because I never really had that appreciation until I rewatched it recently and looked at it in a different way.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Good point. Good points.
Thanks,
that's
man.
fine. That's fucking amazing. Actually, see now you can love Scream 3, man. Come on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And that's what I said to him before, like, you know, Scream 3, it just comes off like it's whatever. But I think it had a strong ending, you know, when it pinpoint everything back to the first one. So yeah, like in what you were saying, it was just like, okay, imagine having to sit there and put a film together after like this one, like your big moment, everything that you really wanted was just scrapped, like the cult situation. And now you're just like, fuck, now what can I do? Because I can't make this type of film because this is going on in the world. And then now you're stuck in a position where you're just kind of like, all right. And then, you know what I mean? And then so it's just like, I think that a lot of things happen, like, you know, once something happens, I don't think we don't appreciate things in the moment, but down like years later, like even a lot of films we don't appreciate until like later on. Like, but like when we watch it for the first time, it's kind of like, fuck that movie. But if you go back and you watch it a few times, it's kind of like, all right. So I think this is definitely one of those movies. Isn't
that kind of what's happening with Scream 4 right now, though? Because didn't it get a lot of hate? And now people are kind of coming out now and being like, oh, I really like Scream 4. Yeah. I think so. We'll eventually see that with Scream 3, maybe.
I was in that same boat because I didn't even go see Scream 4 in the movie theaters because I was just so set. I was let down by 3. So I was like, I'm done with that series. You know what I mean? And then so I end up watching it like years later after it was released on DVD, like with the kids. And I'm like, oh, this shit's actually decent. I'm like, all right. Yep. But it happens.
That's what's going to happen with Psycho Sisters. You guys are going to watch it again. And you're going to be like, this is the best fucking movie ever.
Well, guess what? I still have never watched it before. So
what? I was going to order you guys DVDs for Christmas, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because they didn't put it on DVD.
Wait a minute. Now, Adam, I think that he talked about this film when we did that episode we did a long time ago on Scares and Terrors. I think he was talking about Psycho Sisters.
Psycho Sisters.
Do you remember that film? This is like one of Josh's favorite films. It's like a cheap, low budget. I don't even know what to...
Well, there's three of them. There was a short film in 92. Then the Wave Productions one is the good one in 94. And then 2000, they redid it. Yeah.
He's been talking about this film nonstop. It never stops.
Dude, the Wave Production ones was the best, man. It was made to order films.
It's such a good film. It's not even on IMDb.
That's right.
It's too cool for IMDb.
Yeah.
Too cool. Now, Adam, were you a big fan of the TV show? Because I've seen you spoiling around that mask, man. I never got into the show.
Show?
Yeah, Scream, not Psycho Sisters.
Oh, Psycho
man,
Sisters.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, this guy.
Holy hell, man.
Yeah, you got the mask too?
Oh hell yeah! Look at that nice thing, man. I think I had that same mask I found at Goodwill and it was like $1.
Yeah. I've seen you post pictures with it, I think. So I never actually watched the TV show.
Yeah, I watched like probably the first episode. My daughter, she likes it. So I remember watching the first episode with her and I was just like, all the texting going on. And I was just like, this is not for me. And I just kind of like left it alone. But the only thing I liked about that show was the killer. I think the person, I don't know who the killer was, but I know they were calling him Brandon James. But they were saying that's my name. That's my name. So people were like, "Oh, you're the killer in Scream TV show." And I'm like, no,
like no, man, it's not me.
It's not me.
Yeah, the more I watch, so I think when somebody first told me about it when it first came out, I was like, "That's dumb. How the fuck are you gonna do Scream as I was very against it actually.
Yeah.
And it went on for a while. My sister was like, "No, you should watch it, man. Like, just give it a try." I was like, "Oh, all right." So I watched it, and even like one of the first lines from Noah, when they're like in the classroom and everything, and they're trying to like name movies or something. And he's just like, "Yeah, you can't do a movie as a TV show, or you can't do something as a TV show." And so I was just like, "Okay, I'm in." Like it had that sort of meta feeling and everything, and the whole kind of group of people, and like Noah kind of being our Randy, and there was just aspects that I loved, and it was, for being like a TV show, there were some good kills, and it was pretty bloody and gory, like some of them. And I mean, yeah, there was obviously no Roger for the first 2 seasons, which was upsetting, but like it still worked. Like the whole story behind it worked. I mean, and then, in the season 3, I think it was VH1 bought the rights or something to make it, and they brought back the Ghostface mask and Roger's voice, and it was fucking terrible writing, and they tried to make money off of the mask, the voice, and then throwing in like Tony Todd or something, and it just personally didn't work for me. It was just a very lazy writing season, and it had like nothing to do with obviously the first 2 seasons and everything. They kind of did their own thing, but yeah, as you guys have seen, I've definitely grown into it, and even like I had to like find on eBay and like some stores they had some on like Blu-ray and everything, which it's hard to find like that kind of stuff on like physical copies of movies and everything. So, but yeah, I enjoy it. The more I watched it, the more I loved it. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So now we all made our own Scream 5 trailer with all the things that happened in the first few films, with Sydney's dad being the killer. What are some things that you what are some things you loved about the trailer that's coming out, and like all the new cast
of what, Scream 5?
Scream 5, like the new film that's coming out. What do you think about it?
I mean, at first, I think that first little trailer, or like the teaser they came out with, I really didn't want to watch a lot of trailers for this, because I was like, man, like they're gonna ruin it. Like it's just how Hollywood is now, and that's what one of my biggest gripes with Halloween Kills was, man. Like they to me, they showed a lot, and I was just like, oh, I was not surprised by anything in that movie, and that's another topic about that movie. But yes, but after even seeing like the main trailer, and I kept seeing people like almost complaining, like, oh my god, you almost showed us like the kills, you showed us victims and all that, but then like almost like a day later, I think it was the two directors came out and said, everything you see in this trailer, we put in there on purpose to mislead everybody watching and everything. So the more that they said that, I mean, they could be bullshitting, but I don't know. The marketing for this new film has been out of this world amazing, and like they keep releasing slowly, like little clips and everything, like that Hello Sydney kind of slowly. I keep seeing release clips, and I try to avoid that because I'm like, man, just stop, man. I have 5 days, man. Just let me be surprised, man.
Yeah, so I have a feeling who the killers are, but it's like, I've been watching like some of the, like looking at the Instagram page, and these two people are always next to each other and some of the photos that I have looked at. And so I'm kind of like, I think there's something up with them. And just the way that, like you said, like everything's fake in the trailer, you see Ghostface next to like all these characters with a knife like this, a knife like that.
Yeah.
And there was two people that I never seen him next to with the knife like that. It's the same two. So I think we're going back to the two killers again. But I don't want to give nothing away, so don't go back and look at the trailers and be like, oh, he might be right.
Oh,
but
shit.
I got two people. It's gonna be a boy. It's gonna be a guy and a girl. And I don't want to say, I'm not gonna ruin anything, but I know people that seen it already. Like we had Matt on, and he talked about it. This is the best Scream since the first one. That's what he's saying. He did the production notes on the film. So, I had someone else that had gone and seen it at one of the premieres. So I think this kid's seen it twice, and then he said that this is also one of the most brutal Scream films, best film that compared to the first one. So I'm definitely locked in and ready to go. Already got my tickets for Thursday night. You going to the live stream event?
No, I just like learned about, or like I didn't know anything about that, but no, I'm going Friday night. So and
nice.
that was like another big thing was like modern horror doesn't always get the best rap, but everything I've seen non-spoiler was like, this movie is fucking amazing. And then I have my own little theories.
The same crew behind that film Ready or Not is with this film, and I like Ready or Not. I like that film. Did you seen Ready or Not, right, Josh?
Nope.
Yeah, you did.
It's like when they're playing tag in the house.
Yeah, you did.
It's like that's like not tag, but the family plays the game.
We talked about it all together.
Yeah, I must have seen it then, but I don't remember right now.
All right. It's not Psycho Sisters.
There was someone was throwing some, I was just trying to look it up really quick. Someone was throwing some like theory based on the posters and how many of the killers are in each of the posters. And there was like some algorithm, but now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't make sense because there's one of the killers is in the first poster. 0 of the killers are in the second poster. I think it's like goes 1-0-1-0 or something like that.
There's definitely one person that if you look at all the posters, there's one person not in any of them.
There's a lot of sneaky things, but so
there is, and I think I'm hoping that they're doing that on purpose to just fuck with us, and I think that's honestly what they are doing. That's why I'm excited, man.
I loved when they dropped that poster, like the second poster that had everyone in it, and it's like the killer's in this poster, but it's also Ghostface like sitting there like that. It's like, all right.
So I see you. All right.
Which is the dad and Dewey, right?
They're in the Ghostface costume together.
Yeah. It's just one simultaneous.
Or he's on top of them.
One big ass just
He's like, Dewey, call for backup. I'm gonna kill this person over here.
I bet you the dad wasn't on the poster. There you go.
That dad's never
You're
been
not
on.
wrong. But,
Yeah,
you know.
see, they're throwing you for a loop. It's the dad.
I'm fueling his fire. I
We
shouldn't.
figured it out.
Ah, man. All right. So, any other questions you guys have about this franchise? Because I'm fresh out. I have nothing else.
Yeah, I think we've
Talk
exhausted.
Everybody's excited for 5. Like, are you guys kind of like worried about anything?
I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like, so, like I said, from part 4, if it was like if I was let down by like 4 the way I was let down by 3, then I think I would skip this one. But to me, 4 was good, so like I'm looking forward to it. So
Awesome.
Yeah. I've shied away from every trailer. I actually don't think I've watched a full trailer. Every time they've like come up on social media, I kind of skip through them because I want to go in completely blind. Like you said, I watched so many trailers for Halloween Kills, and I did feel like I had a pretty good sense of the movie already going into it. And I'd rather just go in totally blind because I think that's fun.
Yeah, for me, you know, it's a cash grab. Like Halloween came out, and they're like, "Oh, what else can we do? These make money. Hey, Scream, well, let's make a new one." And
Josh, maybe it's made out of love, bro.
Man,
I'd
where's
like
your
to
cat
see
at, man? Go hug your cat or something, man.
Yes, by the end of the interview, Adam's part of us.
This is like a wrestling scene, you know, when Adam just turned heel and it's hit Josh in the back of the chair.
Now he understands.
Josh is like, "Don't be friends with these guys." Adam's like,
not just kidding. I am.
Josh turns his back to pick his cat up with a new NWO. Scream World Order.
that was rough.
You just got
You had it coming, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone's saying that it's really good. So when everyone else says it's really good, I usually don't like it. So I'm kind of hoping that it's good. There's the truth.
Yeah. Josh, get over yourself, dude.
No heart and soul in like big Hollywood movies. They drive me crazy, man. I'm sorry. Like the first one, you could tell like they put a lot into it. You know, that's why the first one was so fucking good. And then it just went downhill more and more and more.
There's always someone you know, Josh.
I'm gonna turn around and like my dad's gonna show up. I'm gonna kill him with my brother.
Chuckles.
Well, so he has his brother's a clown named Chuckles. So
yeah, they're not fucking with you on that one. That's a real thing. Yeah, look him up. Chuckles the Clown. He's been doing it for years and years and years. It's awesome.
Nice, man.
So,
okay. You guys have a favorite killer?
My favorite killer. I would have to go with. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, other than the first one, the first film, the killers in the first one, I would say actually, part 4.
Yeah,
I thought she was crazy, man.
I did love her, yep.
And she's like one of my favorites. But...
And we all have crazy cousins, so it happened.
Cool.
The mom in part 3.
Part 3, the mom, and part 2.
Was that part 2? Yeah, she was fucking nuts. Like she was crazy. And she looked crazy, and she fucking played it perfect. So I like her.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll with Dave, part 4. Because I didn't see that coming, and it was something different, you know, and it got me back into the franchise. So, but I don't think anyone can ever top Billy and Stu. You know, so I'm
out of the 2 though. Who was out of Billy and Stu? Who would you pick?
I like Stu because he was just so fucking crazy, man. He was funny. He was funny. He brought so much more to the character. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, if we were all girls, we'd be saying a different thing. But I think for comic factor, I think we like Stu because he's hilarious.
My favorite killer is the dad in the new one.
I'm with you, Josh. Actually, I agree with you for once.
I swear, if he ends up being the fucking killer, I'm coming back to you guys. I'm just gonna laugh my ass off. Or I'm just gonna be in the theater, and be like, "Oh, he fucking called it, man."
How did they know?
How did he know that?
He's gonna throw the mask at the screen.
This shit. God, he was right. Damn it, man. Come on.
Shit. All right, you want to close this out, Dave?
Yeah. All right, guys. So, Adam, thank you so much for joining us, man. This has been awesome.
Thanks for letting me on, man.
We'll definitely, hopefully, have you on again, and we can talk more movies and stuff. And thanks for joining me and Brandon in roasting Josh. Appreciate that as well.
You went to the dark side, Adam. You're not coming back on. That's it.
This is my last show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Josh is gonna start deleting the Zoom links in the email.
So,
like, I want to be part of this editing. Edit him out. It's fine. It's fine.
Everybody, we hope that you enjoyed the new Scream film, and we hope that you enjoyed us talking about the first 4 Scream films and our prediction for the new one. So, everybody, have a great night and enjoy them films. See you.
Peace.
Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.